This is manual stretching of the hamstring muscles. I have Danny stretching out Josh. Danny, go ahead and start to stretch his hamstrings. So as you see, when she starts to stretch his hamstring, there's a slight flex to the knee. For just a standard hamstring stretch, this is desirable. You want that stretch to be with the knee slightly flexed. A common compensation pattern to happen when you bring somebody up into a hamstring stretch is for that lower leg to roll out. Josh, go and let your leg roll out. As you can see, when this leg rolls out, the opposite side hip will pop up off the table. As you roll it back, the hips will flatten out, and Danny's going to use her knee on top of this leg to hold it still. Now, if you look at this, she's doing a really nice job of not putting her knee on the quadricep and putting her weight into it. The weight is on the ball of the foot, and she's using the weight of her body to bring the leg forward. So she's using her body mechanics to perform this stretch. Now, this is the basic stretch. You can get more advanced with this and localize the stretch into 6 different zones. We have the proximal, medial, and the distal zones that you can get with this. For the distal, to get right behind the knee, we really want to lock that knee out straight. So she's going to lock that knee out and then bring it up. And he'll feel this stretch right behind the knee. If she lets that leg flex a little bit in the knee, he's going to feel this stretch more so into the mid-fibers of the hamstring. For the basic stretch, we want that stretch to be with the knee flexed a little bit because we're really trying to get into the mid-belly of the hamstring muscle. Occasionally we get people who have proximal hamstring issues, and in that instance, we want to let that knee bend as much as possible and flex the hip as much as possible. So she's going to flex the hip and then use her body to straighten out his knee. And he's going to feel that stretch way up in the proximal hamstring. Now you can further these stretches by making it more of a medial versus a lateral stretch. For the medial hamstrings, she's going to abduct his hip and then bring his leg up into flexion. Just like that. And for the lateral hamstrings, she's going to adduct his hip and then bring him up into flexion. Now you can combine these last 2 techniques for the proximal, intermediate, and distal zones of the hamstring along with the medial and lateral hamstring and bring that into different zones, 6 different zones that you can isolate the stretch in.